Janmanusikshitam Shri Badarani Uvacha Evam Yavasito Budya Samadaya Manoridi Japa Paramang Japyam Prakyanmanyanusikshitam
Sri Badarani Uvacha
Sri Badarani Uvacha
Evam Yavasito Budya
Samadaya Manoridi
Japa Paramam Japyam
Prajnanmananusikshitam
Ladies?
She doesn't know where it is. Where is it? It doesn't matter.
Okay. So you want to chant?
I can't.
Okay. Shri Badaraya Nirvacha.
Sri Badarani Uvacha
Shri Shukadeva Goswami said.
Sri Shukadeva Goswami said Evam thus Vyavasitaha fixed
Mudya by intelligence
Samadhaya
for concentration
Manaha
the mind Priti in consciousness or in the heart Jajapa be chanted Paramam the supreme Japyam mantra he had learned from great devotees Prak Janmani in his previous birth Anshi Shitam practiced. Translation. Shri Shukadeva Goswami continued, thereafter, the king of the elephants, Gajendra, fixed his mind in his heart with perfect intelligence and chanted a mantra, which he had learned in his previous birth as Indradumna, and which he remembered by the grace of Krishna. Report. Such remembrance is described in Bhagavad Gita. This is text 1 from Canto 8, chapter 3. Tata tambuti sanyogan lavate bhavate ekam yatate chatato bhuya samsiha purnanana purvabhyasanate naivabriyate kavasho bisaha. In these verses it is assured that even if a person engaged in devotional service falls down, he is not degraded, but is placed in a position in which he will, in due course of time, remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's explained later, Gajendra was formerly King Indradumna, and somehow or other in his next life he became king of the elephants. Now, Gajendra was in danger, and although he was in a body other than that of a human being, he remembered the stotja he had chanted in his previous life. To enable one to achieve perfection, Krishna gives one the chance to remember him again. This is proved here. For although the king of the elephants, Gajendra, was put in danger, this was a chance for him to remember his previous devotional activities so that he could immediately be rescued by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is imperative, therefore, that all devotees in Krishna consciousness practice chanting some mantra. Certainly, one should chant Hare Krishna mantra, which is a Maha mantra or a big mantra, and also one should practice chanting Chintamani Pragadasa Masu or Nishinga Strota. Ito Nishinga Padato Nishingo, Ito Yatoya Mitato Nishinga. Every devotee should practice in order to chant some mantra perfectly, so that even though he may be imperfect in spiritual consciousness in this life, in his next life, he will not forget Krishna consciousness, even if he becomes an animal. Of course, a devotee should try to perfect his Krishna consciousness in this life, for simply by understanding Krishna and his instructions, after giving up this body, one can return home, back to Godhead. even if there is some fall down. Practice so Krishna consciousness never goes in vain. For example, Ajamila, in his boyhood, practiced chanting the name of Narayana under the direction of his father. But later in his youth, he fell down and became a drunkard, woman hunter, rogue, and thief. Nonetheless, because of chanting the name of Narayana for the purpose of calling his son, whom he had named Narayana, he became advanced, even though he was involved in sinful activities. Therefore, we should not forget the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra under any circumstances. It will help us in the greatest danger, as we find in the life of Gajendra. Mukam karoti vachalam bhakam lankate grim yakipantam mande Sri Gurun Jivacharyanam Om Gyanam Jivarantasya Gyanan Charasharakaya Chakshurumiritam Yena Tasavai Shri Gurave Namaha. So here we have to be careful that we don't make offenses. King Indradumna, he made an offense to a sage. A sage came to visit him in his place where he was, his home, and because he was in trance, King Indradumna was meditating in trance, he neglected to welcome the sage. So the sage got upset and said, because you are dumb like an elephant, let you become an elephant. So he was cursed to be an elephant. So imagine you're doing your job and all of a sudden someone curses you to be an elephant. And it'd be very hard to do. You couldn't even come into the temple. It probably wouldn't fit. It'd be hard to do your service. But still he managed. Prahlad Maharaj mentioned Gajendra in his prayers that even Gajendra, even an animal, can worship the Lord. So if Gajendra can chant his mantra, there's hope for us. We can also do it. We can chant. We can practice. Prabhupada emphasizes practice in this purport. Practice chanting Mahamantra and Govindam prayers and Shikha prayers. He recommended 3 types of prayers that we should chant and we should practice in this life. So sometimes we may fall down in Krishna consciousness. That's what this purport is also about. At the beginning we're attracted to Krishna consciousness, and that is also from previous life. That somehow we're attracted, and we don't know why. Somehow we're just attracted to the devotees, to the chanting. I was just remembering, there was one Harinam we had in Stockholm, and we were chanting, and this little girl joined us. Within 5 minutes, she was leading the kirtan. So that means she must have been doing it in her past life, just like 8 or 9-year-old little girl. She just grabbed the cartels, took the speaker, and started. We had the speaker in the head, and there she was. I posted her picture. And so anyway, we see that a lot of times the children are attracted. Again, it was the last Harinam I was on in Finland. We were doing Harinam in one of the stations, the train stations. And the persons all the people who gave donations, they were little boys from the age of 10 to 16. That's who was giving us donations. And they told me that another Harinam they went on, these little kids wanted to give donation, their parents gave them money, these 3 little children. And so, previous life, and usually the parents don't like it. You see in the Harinam we went here that sometimes the parents like it, and sometimes they don't. They just take their kids away fast. But it's some attraction from previous life. They must have done something. And so as I said before, there is a quality of Krishna that it will attract each and every one of us. And some of us were attracted by the chanting on the streets or in the temple. Some of us were attracted by the books, answered all our questions. Some of us were attracted by the pictures, the beautiful pictures, and the deities. Some of us, that's a rare soul who's attracted by the deities. The deities are a little different. And some of us were attracted by Srila Prabhupada very much, and by his example and his everything about him. So there are examples of many devotees, like, for example, Mahabharat, Mahaj after whom this earth was named, Bharat, and after whom the Mahabharata was written. So Mahaj Bharat, he left everything, he renounced everything, but then he fell down. He renounced a kingdom, a wife, children, so many things, so much money, living in the forest. But due to lack of good association, he fell down. And so we come to Krishna, but why do we leave? So Prabhupada explains that we have to be cautious. And the prayer for a fallen devotee or any devotee, we think it is, I am fallen, patitamam. I'm fallen in this ocean of material existence, so please pick me up and place me as an atom of dust at your lotus feet. So that means engage me. Please accept and engage me in your devotional service. So every day we say the 10 offenses to the holy name. And these can be a cause of fall down if we're inattentive in our japa due to distraction or laziness or indifference. We may not be distracted, we may not be sleepy, but even though we're not distracted, we're not sleepy in our japa, we're indifferent. We don't want to do it. We're just somehow, it's not interesting for us. And so these are different types of inattention. As I mentioned before in a previous class, Bhakti-citta Swami analyzed 4 causes of fall down. That is aparad, offenses, and this is the worst thing because it's very difficult to become free from this offense. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went to the house of a drunkard, but he would not go near any offenders or blasphemers of devotees. He cursed them. And to get all the sins of Jagaya Madhai. If you criticize a devotee, you get the reaction of the sins of Jagaya Madhai. So aparad, pride, yes, King Indra in Canto 6, he offended that was also aparad, he offended his guru, but he was also proud. Due to pride, he offended his guru. He was enjoying in the heavenly planets. His guru walked in and he neglected to offer obeisances to his guru. And his guru disappeared, and Indra realized, I did it. Then you may also fall due to lack of association, like Bharat Maharaj, or bad association, like his only association was the deer, and so he fell down. Not good association to associate with the deer, because gradually he lost his spiritual practice. The deer he would be doing trying to make an offering, the deer would come and grab it, and you think, oh, how cute. So, no. You must have good association. And lack of knowledge about the path of spiritual life. Many devotees do not know about the different levels from Shraddha to Prema, especially on Arti Vritti, this level where doubts may come and different things may come in your mind. And you may lose your hope, you may lose your faith in this level and think, oh, okay, well, I guess that's as far as I go in this life, and now I will join another movement, or I will go back to my material life. And so this is a problem on Archanariti. And so these 4 can cause us to fall down. Now Prabhupada he quoted a verse, Tekta Satarma Charanam Jankare Vajan Apakvo Takateta Toyadi Yatak Abhavadram Abud Amushkim Kovart Apto Bhatatan Sutanta. That means you may give up your duties by sentiment without understanding Krishna consciousness. People join this movement, and then they are not ready. They do some service, but because they are not paka, they are not apakvo, you fall down. In immature stage, you may fall down. So they may fall down, they give up everything, and then they fall down, but there is no loss. There's no loss and diminution, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, if you take this path. So Prabhupada said, he gave the example of the devotees in America in 1969. These boys and girls, they were meat eaters. There were so many things abominable. But even though fallen into this abominable condition, some way or other, because in their last life they had some advancement, immediately they're taking it up. The Prabhupada said that if you take up Krishna consciousness seriously, you must have performed some of devotional service in your previous life. So there's no loss. And even if you perform your varnashram duties perfectly, there is no gain. So, because you cannot forget. You may try to go away from Krishna consciousness, but very difficult. You cannot forget it. Prabhupada gives another example, like hot sugar juice. I don't think we have that in this country. Nobody would dare to drink hot sugar juice. In India, maybe. So it is very nice, but because it's hot, it's feeling uncomfortable. But because it's sweet, you cannot stop drinking. So, similarly, Krishna conscious is so nice that you get attracted and don't want to give it up, but still sometimes it's very difficult. It's intense, very intense. Smarama Kundangri Upaguhanam Punar. When he has chanted Hare Krishna, he cannot give it up. He has to come back. And once you surrender sincerely and say, Krishna, I'm yours, then Krishna will not leave you. Even if you forget, or you try to forget. Very difficult to forget. Just like one example of someone coming quickly was Indra Prabhu in Washington, D.C. The Harinam was passing, and he heard the Harinam, and he started running after it. And he ran so fast that he lost one of his shoes. And the devotee said to him, oh, you go and get your shoe. He said, no, I'm not going back. That was it. He didn't even go back for his shoe. He didn't go back. Oh, he didn't go back. He just didn't look back. That was it. Once he saw the Harinam, continued that for the rest of his life, chanting Hare Krishna. Another devotee, I don't know if I give this story here because, anyway, it's about one devotee in Ireland, and he was in the temple, and he was very upset because he had to get up so early in the morning for Mangalarti. This is too much austerity. And besides that, there's no toilet paper. Because in the early days, we followed the Indian tradition of using water instead of toilet paper. So he said, this is too much, I will leave. He left. He got a job. It was the night shift in a paper factory. And he was working very hard, and one night at 2 in the morning, he said, this is worse. As it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm up. 4 o'clock wasn't so bad after all. So then he broke one, he didn't know what kind of paper, he punctured one of the boxes, and out came hundreds of rolls of toilet paper on his head. And he said, oh, I got as much as he wanted. Here you are, Krishna says, take as much as you want, toilet paper. Are you happy now? So no, he realized, okay, back to the temple. This is not good. Material life is much more difficult, working hard the whole day and night, and just to pay rent and eat. And so, Lord Chaitanya, there is we may fall down, but Krishna will not allow us to forget, or we may forget, and Krishna will still make us remember. Again, my near-death experience, and we all remember this was taken away. Well, Krishna made me remember the holy name. He came as his full holy name. And so, not only do we have this devotional creeper which is going in our heart, but there is a big tree in this material world, a tree of bhakti, which Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has planted. And ISKCON is one of the branches of that tree. So, once we sow the seed, the seed in our heart is there, it will grow. We keep watering it, we water our creeper. So the tree in this universe will also grow. The gardener is Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya is not only the gardener, he's the main trunk of the tree. And he said that, he didn't consider who is fit and who asked for it, who did not receive. the fruits of the tree. He said, I'm the only gardener. How many places can I go? How many fruits can I pick and distribute? Therefore, I order every man in this universe to accept this Krishna conscious movement and distribute it everywhere. So we have that order, and ISKCON is one of the branches. And so we're meant to follow this order of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There's also a nice verse about Lord Chaitanya. Takta siddhishtam sarep sitaraja lakshming dharmishta arvachasaya ragat aranyam maya miganta ityepsta anvadavad vande mahapurushate charanarvindam. So it says Lord Chaitanya, he gave up everything, opulence desired even by the demigods, following the words of a Brahmana, and he went to the forest to sannyas. And what did he do? He chased the conditioned souls who are chasing Maya. So everybody in this world, they're chasing after Maya, and Lord Chaitanya is chasing after them to give them the holy name. So I worship that. I was trying to give them books in his camp. And one soldier was always running away from him. But then the time came when that soldier was dying. A bomb hit his truck, and he called Parthasarathi and said, okay, what's in the book? Tell me now. We shouldn't wait though until that time. And we're not. We are practicing. We must practice our mantra. We must practice chanting Hare Krishna. But we also need to share it. It would be nice if we had that Harinam every day. That would be beautiful. But I don't know if that's logistically possible, but it's very nice, a very nice Harinam. And then we can actually please Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and make the people happy and make them free from old age and death. So, I'll stop here. If there's any questions or comments, you can ask at this point.
King Narduna, who became the elephant,
yes.
is he related to the Narduna of Jagannath Puri?
Yeah, it's the same one.
It is the same.
There's only one King Narduna, son of Manu, as far as I understand. I can't remember if he was son of Manu. Anyway,
that means the Jagannath Puri temple is extremely old.
Yes, very old, very old. King Narduna was millions of years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, millions. It's ancient.
Previous Manu.
No, this one. This our Manu. This Vaivasvata.
No, but this pastime of Gajendra takes place during the fourth Manvantara. That's
really.
Yeah, that's a context.
Interesting. So it must have been before.
Yeah.
Must have been
So
before.
it's a fourth Manu. I mean, the chapter starts with the Shukadeva
sounds-
Goswami narrating the Manus.
Yeah, right.
And then we get to fourth Manu where Hari, he rescues the elephant.
So
and then
this was
Shukadeva
Hari.
Goswami asks
Oh,
Goswami.
wow. That's ages ago. A lot of fourth Manu. How many millions of years ago was that? That's quite a few million. I don't know. quite a few. It's many Yuga cycles ago.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 Yuga cycles in Deva Brahma, 72 in each Manu. So, and that was ages, long time ago. Yeah, it was, as far as I understand, it was the same in Narduna Maharaj. As far as that's what I understood. I was understood. The same Narduna Maharaj who built the temple. There's only mention of one Narduna Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, any other questions or comments?
Parthasarathi, you know what happened to him?
No.
Okay.
I mean, well, after, what I heard was, that was a few years ago, after he finished his army service, then he started to distribute books in America. That's what I heard. And I think also into motels, the motel book distribution in America. I heard he was book distributor. Last I heard. Yes.
He split up with the disciples.
Ritu?
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah. And
Parthasarathi.
they were in touch, so he may know more about
Oh, he may know, okay. Yeah. So he survived Iraq, amazingly. And Krishna had plans for him. If somebody wants to kill you, then nobody, Krishna wants to save you, nobody can kill you.
The other one who survived was this Tulsi Gabbard. She also survived in Iraq.
Oh, she was in Iraq too?
She's no former in Iraq.
Oh, wow. Veteran. She's a veteran.
Yeah, somehow she was also there.
That's amazing. Yes?
Once I asked Harikes Prabhu about something about previous life and pious activities, and then he laughed and said, pious activities in previous life, to be born in Denmark.
Well, Prabhupada just said it's abominable, but we have abominable birth, but because we came to Krishna consciousness so quickly, it means we did in previous life. Prabhupada said that, so okay, he said. Some people, we are making their pious activities, but those who come quickly to Krishna consciousness, then that's what Prabhupada said. If you're, like just now, where was I? In Sweden. One lady, she just came to the temple one time, and then she just started serving in the restaurant here, there, quit her job, and like, we don't get people like that these days, you know. Quite amazing when she went to Albuquerque Festival, just completely dropped everything. No people like that. She just, I mean, even if it takes you a few years to, still, a few months.
When, like referring to pious activities and this Yishan Papa verse that Prabhupada says that, or Bhagavad states that it's due to our previous pious activities, but there must be a difference between mundane pious activities.
Yeah, I explained that in one class. There's three kinds of pious activities. There's the karma phala. If you do good karma, that's one type. It's material. Like if you build a hospital, next life you won't be sick. If you build a school, next life you'll be educated. If you feed people, next life you won't be hungry. So this is the karma for material pious activities. Then there's jnana pious activities. That if you take sannyas and you meditate, you're sannyasi, and in your next life you have credits to merge into Brahman, or it may happen even during your life, you may merge into Brahman. And if you do bhakti, if you do something in some bhakti pious activities, in this life you will be able to do devotional service. That also adds up. It's a different one. Yeah.
So when people buy a book, is that necessary?
Yeah, that's devotional pious activities. If they eat prasad and buy a book, or just, I told that story about the person who waved to the Harinam, that they go to Yamaraj, but then they get a concession from Yamaraj. They just wave to the Harinam, or if they take the prasad from the Harinam.